Hello everyone, Elvin here, and today we are continuing Call of Cthulhu. So, I just finished recording Chapter 5, and I'm recording Chapter 6 right afterwards, so I'm gonna be a lot more jumpy, and possibly a lot more energetic. So, Pierce woke up in an asylum, installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him to escape, wandering through the corridors of this place where Dr. Fuller reigned supreme. Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders before dying in full view of the detective. He accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left the accursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companions in misfortune decided to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout. Okay, let's enter the madness again. That's a squid.
Who goes there?
Where
That
am
nightmare
I?
again. I need a drink.
Why were we staying the night here? This place is like cursed. Okay. I have five. I didn't know I had five. So psychology, hidden spot. What needs upgraded? Definitely eloquence. And probably need to. Oh, we can upgrade this again. And then I'll throw. One in strength, because why not? Yes. Ooh, I got an achievement, Detective Edward Pierce. Okay. Hey, it looks pretty out. It doesn't look like a nightmare. I mean, I don't like those dead trees, but... Good morning, everyone. How are we doing
You're
today?
awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Dead.
Did I sleep long?
The day is only starting. It's fine.
Excuse me.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
My fan's not moving. You should be dead.
Seems you two know each other pretty well.
It's a tiny island. Everyone knows everyone. Especially since I'm a police officer and Marie's a doctor.
The chemistry is obvious.
I do seem a little bit stupid, don't I? Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
come back. Oh. Dr. Colden.
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, am I still crazy?
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died and his son Thomas Fuller took over.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island families are that way. Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominate.
Oh, hush.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
And then?
I went to visit you at the hospital and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
No, let's keep talking.
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something.
Stardust.
I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
Putting the
What happened
stars in
afterwards?
me.
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What?
Something snapped
How
his
did
head
he
off
die?
too.
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
He went whoosh, and then his head went.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw,
There we go.
let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
This
Very
will affect
well.
your destiny.
I'll go to see Francis's widow.
Alright.
Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
Huh?
I'll do my best.
Woo, I can talk to you though.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Okay, where do I go? Oh, leave, okay. Chapter 6. That was 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Whatever. I'm doing both. Doing both in the same episode. I don't care. Center the madness again.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may.
She's cute.
However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well,
It's that cat.
look who's
Oh
here.
my gosh. Why is Cat here? They're sisters, aren't they?
You know each other.
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker.
So they're not
This way,
sisters,
Mr.
okay.
Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Oh, you see,
Yesterday.
that's a funny story.
I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
What happened to your husband is terrible, Mrs.
Yeah.
Sanders. But from what I saw, it was inevitable. The man I met yesterday had lost his reason. He suffers no longer, if you would allow me such a platitude.
Of course. Thank you for your kind words. Nobody in that hospital would have deigned to speak them to me. However, it will require more than that to soothe my mind. I need to understand. How could this happen? in a reputed institute. And right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
How do you know it was right in front of my eyes?
With all due respect, Mrs. Sanders, it was you who sent him to this asylum, not me.
How dare you?
That was wrong.
What was I supposed to do,
That's
detective?
not what I
Upon
meant.
seeing such a brilliant mind disintegrate in this way, waking with a start every night with him shrieking in horror, petrified before this accursed painting, unable to look away, until he managed to gouge his eyes out with his own hands. I should have listened to Dr. Fuller, let him intern him months ago. If I am to be condemned, it is because I did not act sooner.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
That's not what I meant to say.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Okay. What's Cat doing here? Hey, unlocked answer is the last thing I say, so... What's
May
Cat
I
doing
ask
here?
you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and her sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's eye. He bought many of her works over the last 5 years. They adorn his macabre gallery.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
He said don't look at it. I want to look at it because it's just a game. You should not look at it, Pierce. Let me just
Did she really care for
browse
him
through
after
your
all?
Stuff. Acknowledge receipt, Thomas Fuller.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Looks like a snake. There's a crime scene here?
Frances Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
Well, probably if they're sharing a good old cup of nothing? I knew fancy people were weird, but I didn't think they were this weird.
A house of artists. A house of artists.
Yeah, okay. Can I go in here? Nope. Oh, book. Investigation.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom?
Probably not. Why is it all oily? I mean, I get that I haven't seen it yet, but...
He didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated. Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Probably.
The Shambler. I need to see it.
You really don't. Okay. You really don't. Thank you for letting me go through your personal stuff. I'm sure you did not mind one bit. Actually, I'm gonna go and try and find a cat. Yeah, it's this room. Or not. Okay.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
For his wife. I hope you don't mind me just going through everything, you know. I'm sure you don't.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take anymore. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Bravery and medicine. No, that's the front door. Is this the art gallery? Nope. Is this the art gallery? Nope. Well then where is it? This one was locked. Hi.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Got that
Some
right.
can be more
I got
fatal than others.
alcoholism,
What have you come
whiskey,
looking for in this
bourbon,
gallery?
whatever. I think that's it. I've got to verify the paintings. I'm not here to create problems for you.
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what's worrying you.
Worry me? Don't overestimate yourself.
I am.
If the last beating wasn't enough for you, I can always give it another go.
I'm good.
But as long as you keep out of my way, you're free to carry on with your visit.
She ain't gonna tell me. But
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
isn't Fitzroy the guy that got me here? I think he's nicer. Yeah, strength. A key. Boop. Okay. Let's rip out our eyeballs. Whoa. Okay, I don't like that I can do that. Okay, so a fish. Okay. Is that a knife? What kind of text is that? I can't make out what that is. These are cool. don't like the skulls very much, but very cool. I like the knife. I like knives. I like weapons and masks. Is that an acorn? Is that the acorn from Ice Age? Kind of a... That looks like a
These
claw.
artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Wish I understood what Columbia meant. Oh my gosh, why is this art room so huge? Oh. Why is there so many paintings and sculptures?
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
I mean, it's very pretty. Like, some of the stuff is very pretty. But, like, the skulls, I don't understand. This, I don't understand. The globe, I don't... Why is that in an art gallery? Some of these paintings makes... Why? Who am I to judge? I have one painting, and it's a 3D image of a dragon lady. Oh, hey, more oil. Assuming that's his father. His father also lost an eye. That means something. Maybe it's just a random guy.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
'Cause they're awesome? Duh. I don't care if that's real or fake, but I want one of those in my house. Just so it looks weird and creepy and... A Demogorgon. That's cool. That knife is kind of boring compared to the others. Alright, there's a lion. Or... Yeah, I think it's a lion. A big face. A puma? Is that a gorilla? I can't tell. Vampire. Socrates. A baby strangling a bird? Okay. I'm looking at it. It's a snake. Okay. I don't want to do this. I gained some more character points.
What the hell was that?
Is it gone? No. Oh, wrong. It didn't do the thingy. But then I get claustrophobic, and then it's gonna end up pushing me out right in front of it, and then it's gonna kill me. After my vision's just gonna go weird. Okay.
I can't even touch it. No way.
Oh! I know what to do now. Okay. Attempt 6.
What the hell was that?
Okay. I looked it up because I can't understand. So stay crouched, don't make noise, don't look at it. It's the double-bladed one? I didn't realize there was a double-bladed one. So... One's there. Apparently this is the double-bladed one. That's not double-bladed. I thought it meant like...
Damn. This dagger looks different.
What's the matter with you?
From beyond the thing on the doorstep. 2 achievements I got.
You sure you won't be needing that hand?
Yeah.
You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
Wait, what?
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
The creature. This dagger was the only weapon capable of pushing it back. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
Okay, I'm not recording another one. Alright, that's the end of chapter 6. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Sorry that was 2 chapters in one. Sorry that that took forever. Even if you don't see that it took forever, it was like 7, 8 tries to get that. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.